Here we go, guys. We're leaving Houston, Texas on a 4,000-mile trip up to Fairbanks, Alaska. I'm getting out of this city. With me, my buddy Sven, and my dog Gage. Don't forget to like and subscribe below and continue on this great journey with me. In October, I made one of the biggest decisions of my life. I quit my job, packed up everything, and left Houston, Texas for a remote, off-grid life in interior Alaska. It's just me and my dog Gage, and the wide open wilderness now. This is a journey about learning to live simply, embracing challenges, and finding myself in one of the most rugged and beautiful places on earth. Welcome to my adventure. So get this. It's funny to me now, it wasn't too funny then. I left Houston to go out to Fairbanks with nowhere to really live at the time. I had a job. I wasn't sure where I was gonna stay or how I was gonna make that work. I booked an Airbnb for the first month until I could figure out what I had to do. The people who owned the cabin were living off-grid themselves. They only had email, which they got once a week. I brought some of my belongings. I left most of my furniture in my house in Houston. You're crazy. Why would you want to move there? I don't think security is just in your job because you can lose that at any time. You could hold it for 20, 30 years and that could be gone. So my security is found in my ability to adapt to life. Wherever I am, I'm gonna make it. Wherever I go, it might be tough, but I'm going to make it. I've made it thus far, and I will make it this time. So I loaded up the bare essentials for off-grid living into my cargo trailer at my house in Houston. My buddy Sven took off work and came with me on the ride. We're both over the road truckers. So we decided to not stop in the US. We just hit the road and kept on driving. The goal was to make it all the way through the United States without stopping at all. However, I do hope you heard me when I said that was the goal, because stuff always happens. So we head out through Texas and start driving up north, and we're making our way on the trip. Sven starts teasing me about my window tint. I had to put new window tint on my truck because it was broken into in Houston. They bust the windows out and scratched up my tent. So I tried to apply it myself. It didn't work out too well. Nonetheless, we get up to Wyoming and there's a wildfire. It's crazy. It's just mess all over the place. And the more we drive, the closer we get to it, the wilder it becomes to look at. So as I stated about things happening, we get up the road and we get into Montana. I'm texting with a friend of mine that lives in Great Falls. And just in time, our actual blower stops working. At this point, we have the air conditioner on, but we know it's going to come a time where we need the heat. So it stops working. So we go on up the road and we decide that we're going to just go ahead and park for the night, stay in a hotel, get some rest. At this point, we've been on the road for about a day and a half, switching back and forth and sleeping in the passenger seat. So we go ahead and stop in Montana in Great Falls for the night. We have dinner with a friend of mine, catch a couple of drinks, and rest up there and replace the blower in the morning before getting to the border. And here we are pulling into the Canadian border crossing. Oh boy, we're about to cross over into Canada.
Ouvert, fermé.
Close, fermé. Alrighty, Sven, you ready? Ready for the border? Gage is ready to cross. Gage got his passport ready. He is looking like so weird.
Welcome to Canada.
So we're all done with Mr. Border Patrol. It took forever for Mr. Man to write down the serial numbers of the guns. He came out and checked them, went over that, pulled back inside, and it took a little while for him to write the information. But we're on our way, so here we go.
Let's go.
Gage is ready. So we head back out on the road, and we're into Canada. We stop and take a picture at the Welcome to Alberta sign. Canada is absolutely gorgeous. Coming through, the road is just beautiful. The whole time we just kept pointing out things to each other as we drove across. Looking at the mountains and the landscape was absolutely breathtaking. Canadian fuel prices still counting. It's $1.95.9 per liter. It is 3.785 liters per gallon, and this is killing me. Thank God for an exchange rate that'll save me a little bit.
All right.
So we stopped at the entrance to the Alcan, which is located in Dawson Creek, British Columbia. They have a board where you can fill out, so we stop and of course write our names on there, Robbie and Sven 2024. Hit back on the road, and it's absolutely gorgeous again. The road is just one lane each way for pretty much the entire Alcan. And it starts to get a little bit of precipitation there for a little bit, and it's a little rough and rugged. And then Gage happens to find something that he finds very exciting. So look at what happens next. Look how...
Hey.
He never moves.
Hey.
So we end up getting some pretty cool shots of the road. Sven's a photographer and loves taking pictures. So we head on out, past our buffalo, and you can see the road starts getting wet and wet. And it's getting colder, but this time we have the heat on. You can probably see it starting like rain, sleet on the windshield there. And we're coming on up the road. We get to the next little pass, and we run into some more friends up on the road. We get around the corner, and we got some caribou there. And so we got a great picture of the caribou running out across the road. It was pretty sweet. And then it starts snowing a little bit more on the Alcan. You can't see too much. So we're getting a little sleepy, and we decide that we're just going to pull over that night, and we actually just sleep on the side of the road because we were both tired. So we slept on the side of the road, and we got up the next morning, and we started our drive again. So that was our second stop, was on the side of the road in Canada. We got up the next morning and decided to stop at a park. So we pulled over down the road, and there was a sign for a park, and Sven wanted to take some pictures and do some things. So we went ahead and jumped out and just stretched our legs for a little bit. I'm here. Yeah, Sven is entertaining him, trying to take pictures, and it is too much. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nothing, just talk.
Come on, buddy.
So we just continue stretching our legs, relaxing, and try to enjoy the scenery. Took Gage out for a walk, let him run it by the river. We just had a good old time out there. So I'll give you some time to just take in the scenery like we did before we hit the road again. So we headed back out on the road and kept on driving. This is Stone Mountain where we encountered most of the snow. Once we got off of Stone Mountain, it wasn't much. We dropped down into White Horse and we stayed there and had dinner and a few drinks. And Sven played this stupid game with me and was teasing me that I didn't know how to do it. I cut the audio out because I laughed really loud. But we had a great time. Got back out on the road and headed towards the Alaskan border. The border crossing coming into Alaska was separated by like 30 miles. There I am, me and Gage. We finally made it into Alaska. And we head on through the town of Tok, through Delta Junction, and the roadway for the last bit of Canada was the most horrible road I've ever driven in my life. I didn't take a lot of video of it. It was so messy and up and down and beating around. The trailer was completely full of dust once we came through there. It's the last of 100 miles of Canada, and probably the first 50 miles in Alaska were absolutely horrible. But nonetheless, we finally arrived at the Airbnb in Fairbanks and ready to get settled in. Sven stayed with me a couple of days, and we were able to just kick back, relax, and put our feet up. And lo and behold, the very first night, I go to wake Sven up because the northern lights are so bright and glorious. So we went outside, got dressed after being tired, and took pictures. The next morning, here we go, we got snow already. I brought the snow for the season into the Fairbanks area. I went ahead and got a snow machine, and this happens. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and stand by for clips on the next video to post and why I waited for the coldest day to move into the cabin. It is negative 24 degrees, and it is the first trip out there. So I'm kind of packed up in the truck, as you can see here. Thank you so much for following this journey. I look forward to having so much fun. So we'll go into opening up the shed on the next video. I haven't opened it yet. I'm a little scared, I ain't gonna lie. Talk about what took me so long to get that posted. How long it took me to find my drone after the last video. It's been wild. It's been wild. So we'll get through all of that and what's been going on. But I will have that posted in the next couple of days. Look forward to it. Hope you enjoy. Like and subscribe. Let's have some fun. Thanks again for following along.